everyone, we're going to paint one of our ornaments from our collection for our Christmas in July class. These will be available also as kits, and of course you can paint them any time of the year. We've been painting Christmas ornaments since January. This collection has 8 different ornaments that all kind of coordinate together. I'm gonna just paint one of them. You basically do the same thing for all of them as far as the background and the pieces go and the gluing. I will show you how we're gonna put on the hanger with the ribbon and a bead. And I'll give you some hints on doing some details. So this collection has a cute gingerbread man, Merry Christmas, a snowman. It also has Santa's belt. It has one with some lights, Happy Holidays. Of course, we need Rudolph, as well as this one says Merry and Bright. I'm gonna show you how to put that ribbon together here shortly, but we're gonna paint this guy first. So let's come down here and we'll just take a look at him. This is the only one that has engraving on the background. A couple of the other pieces have a little bit of engraving as well. And anytime you have engraving, you always want to do some layers of paint. You want to do very thin coats to make sure that you're not getting it down into that engraving. If you do get it in the engraving, you can take a straight pin or a safety pin and kind of clean that out. Your kit is going to have some different tools in it. It may vary a little bit depending on what we have or what we can get in stock. One of the wedges or the sponge or even the foam brush, all of these can kind of do the same job, as well as a small detail brush. I'm going to just take some paint and I'm just dabbing off excess. So I don't have a ton of paint on there. And I'm just going to go up and down with some thin layers, just very thin layers across that engraving especially. I don't want to jam it down in there. I'm just doing a light tapping motion. I will have all the finished pieces in the direction post that will show you the colors that I used. Of course, you don't have to use those same colors. This is an acrylic paint that I'm using today called Morning Blue. I think it's perfect for kind of that winter morning, and the red cardinal is going to pop right off of there. So I'm just doing very thin little dabbing motions where that engraving is, because I don't want to get it down in there. So get a little more paint. I can be a little more aggressive up here in the empty space. I'll go back and do a second coat over top of where the words are. Give it a little bit more color so that it is solid. Christmas will be here before you know it. It's actually today is the first day of summer as I'm painting that, so it's kind of funny. But who doesn't love fun Christmas stuff? So there, I've got a lot more on my top. I'm gonna just gently kind of come in here and do a second coat where my engraving is. The rest of the backgrounds in this set are all solid, so there's no worries about getting those painted. If you have a little small roller at home, you might choose to use a roller for your large background pieces. But like I said, just these gentle up and down will give you nice coverage. You just might have to do it several times without getting it down into the engraving. So there we go. Okay, I can always add more if I need to, if it dries. Okay, all right, we are going to use white on our snowflake. I usually just hold them with my fingernail, get the majority of it done, and then turn it around. Again, just hold it. If you want to put a tape bubble, like some painter's tape and an inside out bubble, and attach that, you could also use some little sharp object, a safety pin, or if you have one of the vinyl pickers, you could hold it down with that as well. Okay, so we've got our snowflake. I'm going to do the red first on my cardinal here. Again, I'm just using up and down motion. I'm gonna go close to the beak. I'll go over it just a hair. And we'll turn that around, do the rest. Okay, so there's our cardinal. And I'm gonna use the paintbrush and do the end of it. I'm gonna grab a dot of black to put right there where the eye goes. You could use a Sharpie if that makes you more comfortable. Okay. I'm gonna kind of give this a little bit of a wipe, but my red is a little bit dry already. And we're just gonna come in here with the yellow. I don't even mind that it blended a little bit of the red in with the yellow for his beak. Kind of actually looks nice, that shade. Okay, so there is that. Let me get a close up there. So basically that is it for our large portion of our painting. I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and then I'm gonna show you a few little details with some black. While I'm gonna give that a second to dry. It's not gonna be completely dry. I'm gonna show you how I am doing the little top decoration. So you're going to fold your twine in half, and I put it from the back to the front, and I'm going to put my two ends through the loop. Before I pull it tight, I'm gonna let that up and loose for a minute. You can kind of see there's a big loop there. I'm gonna take my ribbon and I am going to put it into thirds and pinch it together, so that would kind of be my bow. If you wanted to tie this, you could. I'm not. I'm just taking that and putting it through my loop, and I'm pulling the loop taut. Okay, so there is my little bow. It is just tight there. I'm going to just do one little quick knot to keep it there. I'm then going to take these two ends and I'm going to put them through this wooden bead. You could let the bead natural, or you could paint it. When I paint beads, I usually put them in a Ziploc bag with a couple drops of paint, maybe a drop of water if necessary, rub them all around in the Ziploc bag, and then take them out, dry them on a paper towel. I'm gonna make a knot in my twine above the bead, and I'm just going to kind of get it sent the whole way down there close. And that is how I'm finishing off my ribbon and bead. And up here at the top, I will just again put my two ends through a little loop and pull it up close to the top, and then that gives me my hanger. Okay, so super easy to finish off a cute little top. You will get your twine, bead, and ribbon in your kit for each of those ornaments. All right, this guy's still a little bit wet. My snowflake will be put onto here. You'll see in the finished picture, this will get glued on here. This will get glued on here. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of black paint and I'm going to dab it off so it's pretty dry. And I'm going to just kind of at a 45-degree angle, I'm just kind of touching it on here. You don't have to do this. I think it kind of gives it a little bit of an extra, just an extra little detail. It's just a bare amount of paint, just a tiny bit. I'm adding, oops, I guess I'm my hands in front of the camera. Just a tiny little bit added on to the extra, to the edge there. Don't have to do that. That's just an option. I like to give you some ideas of things that you can add on. I could also do the same thing to my cardinal. Some people like to do this with ink pads. That works as well. You can take one of the little finger daubers and some ink and just gently go around your edges. Kind of gives it just a custom look, just a little something extra to finish it up. Okay, so that's an idea. Another idea of things we like to do around here is to do a little splatter. Let me get up, that's all the farther I'm going down there. I'm gonna do white today since it would sort of represent snow. You can use an old stiff brush. This is just an old chip brush. We use some old toothbrushes here at the shop. Get some water on whichever brush. It just needs to be something stiff. Get a little bit of paint, and you kind of just pull your finger back and let that splatter. Kind of see it there. Let me see if I can, there. See if you can see it on the white here. May not show up. Yeah, I think so, showing up a little bit. That really makes a difference, I think, in your finished product. Okay, so once this is dry, we'll get it all glued together. If you're using super glue, remember to be careful. Tiny, tiny little bits. You can always use a toothpick to help put it on the back. White glue works really well with these. I'm not sure yet what we'll be including in the kit. Again, supplies have been weird, and regardless, if you have white glue, it just might take an extra few minutes to dry, but white glue might be the way to go for these guys since they're have some tiny parts. So looking forward to this Christmas collection, and watch out for more Christmas coming soon. Bye guys.